in that dugout.
And he didn't give him and spot him any.
Now, don't get me wrong, that was one of the greatest comebacks in Cleveland history, and I absolutely love Josh Naylor's excitement, but I'm not gonna lie, it kind of reminded me of this all-time great clip.
That's right. Who do you think you are? I am.
What's going on, everyone? It's Fuzzy. Welcome back to yet another MLB recap. We have a lot to talk about today. Of course, Josh Naylor made history. Yeah, Babe Ruth hasn't done this. Mike Trout hasn't done this. And speaking of Mike Trout, him and Ohtani did their things yesterday. And then nasty Nestor Cortes was back at it yesterday for the Yankees, and he almost made some history as well. Now, real quick, I do want to remind you guys that if you're going to any baseball games or concerts anytime soon, save yourself 20 bucks off on SeatGeek using code Fuzzy. Now, before we get into the games from yesterday, I do want to show this tweet right here. MLB and London, just imagine them shaking hands like this meme right here. They are going to be hosting fan events and games in 2023, 2024, for some reason skipping 2025, and then lastly 2026. And this is nothing but good news, because the more that we can expand the game of baseball, the more eyes that are on this channel and the game of baseball in general. It's just a win-win for everyone involved. All right, let's go ahead and talk about Cleveland versus Chicago. For whatever reason, the White Sox and the Guardians always have insane series, and of course in game number 1 it proved itself yet again. The White Sox made 4 errors in this one, and that's how Cleveland scores their first run, and more on that a little bit later, because right now we have to talk about Michael Kopech. I cannot believe they got Yoan Moncada and Kopech in one trade back in the day when they gave Chris Sale to the Red Sox. After 6 scoreless innings with 7 strikeouts and only 2 base hits, Michael Kopech lowers his ERA to an MLB best 0.93, and the White Sox bullpen is usually really good, so there's no way they blow this, right? Well, Josh Naylor ropes an RBI double in the 8th, and Andres Jimenez smokes an Oppo Taco in the top of the 9th. Andres and Josh Naylor have been insane this year, and here comes more bad defense from Chicago. Ahmed gets the 3rd after an error and then scores on a Moncada error. Owen Miller gets on top of a 97 fastball to load the bases for Josh Naylor, who destroys this one 421 feet. He nailed that one. Yes, I'm going to use that pun. He was completely hyped up, but he wasn't done just yet. Fast forward to the 11th after J-Ram and Josh save it on this web gem. Jose with the grab and then the throw. Naylor on the other side of the diamond with the pick. And here we go. Naylor grabs RBI 6, 7, and 8 on his second home run of the night. He became the first player in Major League Baseball history to have 8 RBIs in the 8th inning and later, and he was hyped up. Let me just show the clip. He's the type of guy that you absolutely love to have on your team, but when you're facing him, he's got to be annoying. And I didn't realize he is just 24 years old, and same with Andres Jimenez. We have a young core. I cannot wait to see what this Cleveland team does for the rest of the year. All right, let's talk about the Yankees and the Rangers. Nasty Nestor was at it again. Cortes took a no-hitter into the 8th inning, and Aaron Boone after the game said he was not going to take out Nestor until he got the no-hitter done. Unfortunately, the no-hitter gets broken up in the 8th, and he comes out after 11 strikeouts on just 1 hit allowed. The sad thing is, he doesn't get the W. He leaves before Anthony Rizzo shoots the left field gap to bring home Aaron Judge. Aaron was running at a 28.3 foot per second sprint speed, which is better than average. I think 27 feet per second is the average. So 6'7", approaching 6'8" Aaron Judge was absolutely flying. That's almost like, you should not be running that fast at that height. Chapman comes in and earns his 7th save, and the Yankees become the first team in the American League to 20 wins. Nestor Cortes has a 2.52 ERA and a 10.4 strikeouts per 9 over his last 125 innings pitched. That's really good. Moving on over to the Orioles and the Royals. Right before we talk about the Angels, Tyler Wells gives up the early run in the first, but shuts down the Kansas City Royals offense the rest of the way. He gets some help from Jorge Mateo, and Mateo decided to wreak havoc in the 5th inning. He has an RBI single and then uses his world-class, I would say sprinter speed, to steal second and force a bad throw to score another. Jorge then scores on a Mancini single, and yeah, that wild pitch gives Baltimore another free run, only to have Ryan Mountcastle really pour salt in the wound with a 2-run single to cap off a 6-run 5th inning. The Royals fall to 7-19, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but Whit Merrifield might be the worst player in baseball right now. A negative 1.1 WAR and a 2 Yes, a single-digit 2 OPS plus and 104 at-bats, but good on Baltimore. They win their second game in a row. Jared Walsh is trying to prove to his manager, Joe Madden, that he can hit lefties, that he doesn't have to be moved down in the order anytime a southpaw is on the bump. He demolished this one. A 3-run tater to Disneyland. Now, speaking of Disneyland, Thor must have left Avengers Campus because he was on the bump yesterday. Noah Syndergaard strikes out 7 on just 1 walk. He lowers his ERA to 2.45. Imagine if he was still with the Mets. The Mets rotation would be absolutely filthy. And now it's time to really have some fun. Mike Trout smokes home run number 161 in Angel Stadium, which means he now owns the record for the most home runs ever hit in Angel Stadium. Ohtani then goes back-to-back, the first time since 2019 that Ohtani and Mike Trout have gone back-to-back, but they weren't done just yet. Mike takes a walk with the bases loaded, and then Shohei Ohtani, I can't believe that this was a first. That right there is Ohtani's first Grand Slam in professional baseball, even dating back to Japan. So Shohei now has 6 home runs, 21 RBIs, 4 stolen bases, and a 3.08 ERA with an insane 14 strikeouts per 9. He's on pace to get even more MVP votes in 2022. And this is what we've been waiting for. Not just Halo fans, baseball fans in general have been waiting for a good Angels team where Mike Trout is healthy and they have a few starting pitchers that can get the job done. Patrick Sandoval, Shohei Ohtani, Noah Syndergaard. That's a pretty good 1-2-3 punch. The other LA team, even though every time I say the LA Angels, people get mad at me, so let's just say the only LA team because the Angels are in Anaheim. The Dodgers had a rough time because Ben Gamel and the Pirates outfield can go get baseballs, and I want to show off this throw from Mookie Betts because he shows off the arm and he makes sure that the Dodgers don't allow that run to reach third, but it was kind of futile because look at Jake Marisnick. He can't really hit, but the man can fly in the outfield. Yoshi's sac fly in the 4th gives Pittsburgh the lead, and Jose Quintana looked like White Sox version of Jose Quintana. 5 strikeouts over 6 scoreless innings. If the Pirates can get this W, he will become the first starting pitcher of any starting pitcher in 2022 for the Pirates to win a ball game. Yes, every single win that they've gotten has been to a relief pitcher. Michael Perez belts one, and look at Jack. Mr. Sawinski was sick of not having any career home runs. He changes that on one swing. Pittsburgh comes away with 15 base hits. They're now 12 and 16, and for the first time this year, a starting pitcher, Jose Quintana, gets the W. The Diamondbacks and the Marlins, we have a close one. Christian Walker sparks a little rally with a first-inning RBI double, and Rojas brings home Peralta on a bunt single. What is this bunt that you speak of? Okay, that joke is not funny anymore. Jacob Stallings ends up tying the game on a 2-run single in the second, but David Peralta's web gem, look at him just barrel into the wall, and then Dalton Varsho's single in the bottom half of that frame. He helps to get the lead back for Arizona. And of course, the Marlins fight back after Garrett Cooper belts one nearly 400 feet to tie it at 3 runs apiece. Ketel Marte has been on fire. He has been inhuman over the last week, maybe week and a half. He goes 440 feet. He has a 9-game hitting streak, and over his last 6 games, he's hitting 500 with 5 extra base hits. Mark Melancon appreciates the effort and induces a double play to end the game, notching his 6th save, and the Diamondbacks are 16 and 14, so shout out to them. The Giants and the Rockies, Mauricio Dubon was the Giants' entire offense through 3. He had a sac fly in the first and then a 2-run tater in the third. Rodon does allow 2 earned runs, but he has 12 strikeouts. That means he has 53 strikeouts through the first 6 starts of 2022, which is the most ever by a Giants pitcher. I'm talking more than Timmy. I'm talking more than Marichal. Carlos Rodon is nasty. Darren Ruff singles home Dubon in the bottom of the 6th, and the Giants end up with 3 in the 6th inning and then 2 more in the 8th. A pretty easy victory for the Giants, if you're asking me. Colin Moran of the Reds is coming off a weekend in which he ate his former team alive, and it continued here. Moran now has a home run in 3 consecutive at-bats. Instead of trying to lay down a bunt, TJ Friel doubles in a run, and then Brandon Drury is enjoying a nice little bounce-back power season. 18 RBIs, 6 home runs, and a 150 OPS plus. He had 4 home runs total over his last 2 seasons combined. Tommy Pham scores on a wild pitch and then singles home Almora in the 6th. Now, speaking of Tommy Pham, he took a discount to go play with the Reds in the hopes that he was going to ball out, and look at his baseball savant. He is mashing the baseball, and he's running at a pretty decent level. Tommy Pham is going to get paid if he keeps this up. Now we fast forward to the bottom of the 7th, where Kyle Farmer connects on a 390-foot ding-dong, and the Reds all of a sudden match the win total they had in April. They had 3 wins in April, 3 wins in the month of May. Good for them. Now, the final 3 games, they were kind of boring because they were all shutouts. A rough day for Tigers fans and me because Badu got sent down to AAA. The bad man, his confidence was ruined because AJ Hinch just is not having the best managerial season, and Tigers fans would agree. So Hinch was rewarded with a great day at the office, 0 runs, So anyways, enough of my fanboying. Tony Kemp drops the barrel and rips a rare home run. Chad Pinder goes up the middle in the fourth to bring home a second run for Paul Blackburn. Blackburn has been insane this year. He hurls 6 2/3 shutout on just 4 hits. So his 2022 stat line, a 1.74 ERA, and actually a career high in strikeouts per 9 at 7.5. So he's more of a pitch to contact guy. Oakland gets in trouble. Javi and Hinch get ejected after a bad call, but it was close enough to be called a strike. Jimenez strikes out the final hitter of the game to close it out, and the Tigers fall to 8-20 with legitimately zero life offensively. The Cubs and the Padres. Seiya Suzuki gets the party started, even though he's been scuffling a little bit as of late. He has an RBI double, which is a welcome sign, and an Ian Happ makes it 2-0 after a single in the fourth. Some not so good news in the fifth. Seiya does secure his second RBI on a ground out, but he leaves with an ankle injury. I think he stepped on the bag a little bit funny. Ian Happ ends up with a 3 RBI game after Gomes scores, and then Nico Horner turns on the Jets to come home and score as well. Hendricks was sensational. He goes 8 2/3, so he was 1 away from a complete game shutout. He only allowed 4 base runners, struck out 7, but I guess that Ross decided it would be a better idea to take him out because he was at 116 pitches. Either way, it was a smart idea, I guess, as the Padres go to 19-11 after that loss, so they're still playing really good baseball. They're 1.5 game back of the Dodgers, and that division, the NL West, is going to be crazy. Last but not least, Jean Segura hits career home run number 101, so he hit 100 a few days ago. This one came against his former team, and Hoskins makes it back-to-back, and I didn't realize that he was dropped down to the 7th spot in that order. No idea. JT and Castellanos team up a few times between the 3rd and the 5th. JT Realmuto has an RBI single. Nick Castellanos has a RBI extra base hit, and then another JT single makes it 5-0. And shout out to Ranger Suarez. He broke out last year. He shut down the M's offense, who suddenly looked awful as they had 7 hitters hitting under 200 in yesterday's lineup. The Phillies weren't done scoring though. Castellanos and Segura bring home a few more in the 7th, as Hoskins nearly makes it a 10-run ball game with the 9th run driven in later in the game. Harper, I think, went 3 for 4 with the stolen base. Even though he's slumping, he is still on pace to have one of the better seasons in the National League. But that does it for today's video. Thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed, leave a like, hit that subscribe button, save yourself money if you're going to any baseball games using code Fuzzy on SeatGeek, and enjoy the web gems.
Sharply in the hole. Nice play by Baez. Long throw. Got him!
Watch his focus here as he picks that ball, right? And then getting up, he doesn't have to.
Fly ball into left. That's going to be charged out there by Margot, who made the grab. Big play right there for the Rays.
Shallow center. Mullins racing in, dives, and he has got it. Cedric Mullins takes a hit away from Merrifield. Watch this. To the backhand side, watch the glove, and he scoops it just off the grass and somehow hangs on.
Rojas on the move. Varsho the throw. Got him.
Watch this lightning quick release on a pitch that's inside to a right-handed hitter. That's one of the toughest ones for a catcher to handle.